Good afternoon, everybody.
I am Maria Davis Pierre, CEO and founder of Autism in Black. And go ahead, husband.
What's going on? Dr. Barry Pierre, co-founder of Autism in Black, CEO of Pierre Medical Consulting. Just happy to hop in for another live.
Where do you want to begin today?
I think first and foremost, where's the banner? Where's that banner? Let's make sure we get that banner. Let them know where they can register for the 2025 Autism in Black Conference, hybrid conference happening in West Palm Beach, Florida at the Palm Beach County Convention Center, right? As well as virtual, right? Because we are not leaving our virtual folks out. Yesterday we got on and we realized that there's a lot of people who kind of catch us new and don't necessarily know kind of the background story. They didn't know you had a podcast. They didn't know you had an amazing website, all these speaking engagement. They didn't know like how big you are. So I think let's give them just a little quick introduction of who you are, how we got here, and how we got to the 5th conference that's happening April 11th to the 13th.
Sure. If you guys see me looking over here, I'm looking at Instagram. Hi to the Instagram people dropping in and saying hi over there. Autism in Black started basically because of our oldest daughter, Malia, who is, oh my goodness, she'll be 13 this summer. He's going to show pictures.
She's the middle one.
She's the middle one, our oldest baby girl. About six months, I noticed characteristics of autism. I told Dr. Barry here. Dr. Barry was not feeling it. But at about 10 months, she actually started to really show what we would consider huge red flags. So regression in her speech, there's a lot of sensory things. So a lot of the developmental milestones she had made, she started to regress in. And at that time, I knew we needed to involve healthcare professionals. So we started with our pediatrician, who was also giving us a little pushback, but then gave us the information to Early Steps, which every state has. They just may not be called Early Steps. Went to Early Steps, did the normal routine evaluations. They agreed, thought she was autistic, but because of her age, because at that time she wasn't even 1 yet, they didn't think that they could give her the diagnosis that early. So they told us to go to a pediatric neurologist. After finding one of the only ones in our area, having been on that wait list a little bit, we finally got in for our appointment. He had us do all of these tests, DNA or genetic testing, not DNA. Obviously, Barry's her daddy. Genetic testing. She had to be put to sleep for an MRI of her head, of her brain, to do a brain scan because she was so young. They didn't feel she would stay still in the machine. So she had to have a lot of extensive and expensive tests. And when he got all of that back, ruling out anything else, he did agree she was autistic, but he also said he didn't want to give her the diagnosis. And at that point, I knew I just wasn't going to keep putting up with it. So it led to me having a little boycott in his office for about a week until he gave us the paperwork. And in talking to those in our community, we found that it wasn't just a struggle for us. And we also knew that if someone who was a physician, Dr. Barry, someone who is a clinician, me, were struggling to get the diagnosis for our daughter, what did that mean for those who didn't have these certain educational or financial privileges that we did? So out of that, Autism in Black was birthed.
Yeah, and it's been so interesting to first kind of get into the community, assume that the trials and tribulations and the obstacles that we were facing was like a solo thing. Like we were the only one facing it. Maybe we were in a bad city or bad state. And then you start hearing other stories and you start your expansion of the network that we didn't know that was around. And we start realizing that a lot of us have very similar coming up stories in this world of being Black and autistic. And I think it was that like passion and, that movement and those stories that, led, us to kind of start the organization and, start, just educating. That's all we kind of did. We're just here to educate. We're educators, by trade, and it came second nature to us. But, when it hit home and realize that, wow, like if we are having these troubles, we can't imagine what the rest of the country, probably the world, is experiencing. It was definitely one of these like hats that you don't want to put on, but you realize, hey, if I don't put this on, like who will? And I think that's what kind of spurred, getting Maria to, go in deep with kind of the autism space and the education and the booklets and the podcasts and the blogging and the speaking. And then we said, you know what, like maybe we could do a conference, because when we looked around, no one was doing conferences for us either, right? So it was just kind of one stopping point after another that we just kept saying, you know what, we got to keep going. And I think that's what kind of led us here to not the first, but now the fifth conference. Yes, it's been 5 years going strong. And it's this year is a special one because this is our first year where we're doing an in-person aspect of it. Mm-hmm. So we're just excited for really what's to come. Like we got about a month and a half, I guess, of planning to go, of timing to go, of really just finality of kind of having the date. I'm very excited. I'm seeing all of the people who are already getting tickets much earlier than expected. Like, because usually we love our community. Usually I kind of hold us down closer towards the date, but y'all have been showing up. I think obviously because it's in person, y'all got to make travel arrangements. Y'all got to get here in April. So we're excited for, what we have in store. And like I said, there's a lot of things happening in the background. That's keeping Maria up late at night. That like me, I'm keeping her up late at night saying, hey, we got to do this. Hey, we got to do that. But she's been such a strong trooper behind it. So we're just excited. And again, we just wanted to kind of hop in here, do our lives, kind of get in, like touch base with the community. If there's any questions, any concerns as far as registrations, hotels, speakers, hopefully we've got those answers for you. We have a whole section on our registration page of frequently asked questions. So if you can just think of a question, just hit the registration page. It's probably there, but if not, do not feel like you can't DM me or Maria and say, hey, what about this? What about that for us? Do we have anything else we want to check in?
Instagram's always popping, holding me down over there on Instagram. Mr. J Note said, found out about this today. Definitely think about it. Definitely go to the registration page. It's happening April 11th through the 13th. We have our in-person aspect happening at the Palm Beach Convention Center here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Our host hotel is connected straight to the convention center, and you get a discount up until March 16th if you use our code that's on the registration page as well. Then we also have our virtual aspect as well, where you can still get general admission, VIP or platinum VIP. Anybody who's attended our virtual aspect, they have said time and time again that it didn't feel virtual because of their ability to maneuver within the app and network with individuals and build community, which is really always the theme of any Autism in Black event, is building that community, building that network, meeting people that's in your state that you didn't know, meeting people that's in your city that you didn't know, that become friends. We've had people who've connected since year 2, which is the year we started using that app, and they are still friends now. So, that is really what we weave into the experience. And then in person, that experience is even going to be heightened of building that community. Dr. KG Saidi says, awesome work. I'm new to this page, but will check out conference details. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Definitely join us. Mr. J Note says that they have lived in West Palm Beach for 15 years, so lodging isn't going to be an issue. Looking to connect. Come on. I think what we've realized is that we have a very strong foothold in a lot of places that are not Florida. And a lot of people don't even know we exist in Florida. People think we're always in the DMV area. We have a heavy DMV following. But now that you know that we are located here in West Palm Beach, we want to see you at the event for sure. And come out and connect with us and enjoy 3 days full of sessions and learning, and also networking and community, and finding people who are dealing with similar experiences to yours.
Indeed, it's so funny that you said that, because we started virtual. It was never, I guess, an onus of us to like be known in Palm Beach County and be known as, because we knew that we had to touch everyone, like in DC and California and Australia and Africa. Like we just knew that our influence had to be a little bit more broad. So even this year, like putting such a focus on like, hey, like in the community, who do we know? Who do we need to collaborate with? Who do we need to talk to? Has been an adventure in and of itself. So I'm glad you said that, because we're definitely working on improving that and getting that foothold as well.
Mm-hmm. But make sure you guys are going to the website, checking out. We're also doing vendors as well. You have the opportunity to vend in person or virtual. We have both types of booths. You can go to autismandblack.org/vendors. So if you have a product, if you have a service that you want our community to know about, please look into vending. And depending, both levels get tickets. So if you get a virtual booth, you do get tickets to the virtual conference. If you get in-person booth, you get in-person tickets to the conference. So you're also able to learn and enjoy and introduce your product to our community. And just so you know, we've had past sponsors of Amazon, Grant Makers for Girls of Color, Arlen Hamilton, ARC Therapeutic. We haven't quite announced this year's sponsors, but there will be plenty of individuals who are investing into our community so that we can continue to pour into you all. Usually we've had over 400 attendees virtual. So we'll see how that pans out, knowing that we have both aspects this year. So we usually have a pretty good gathering. So if you're wanting to vend your product to our community, just know we do touch a lot of people with our conference.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, especially in a time like this, recognizing which companies are still, for us, working for us, don't have no problem being supportive of us. So definitely patronize the sponsors, support the sponsors, because we know at this time it's probably not as popular to be, hyping the organization focused on autism, especially in the Black space.
Mm-hmm. What else? Because I think, is that it? Because I do have
I think that's it for now. I'll probably take over your chat later on today to talk about another event that we're doing, but right now it's all about the conference. So get to the conference page. Registration page is there, autismblack.org /conference 2025. If you're on Instagram, link on for either our pages, the links are in the bio for that. Lots of frequently asked questions on there. The schedule's on there. The speakers are on there. Please don't hesitate if you got any question that's not answered to DM us. So we make sure that, come April 11th to the 13th, you guys are there.
And for our professionals who are wanting to attend that are in the clinical space, we are offering 10 MBCC credit hours for our live portion. And those other types, like I know teachers have been able to take certificate of attendance from our conference and get hours counted. So even if you're not a therapist or a social worker or psychologist, we do give out certificate of attendance, and sometimes your board accepts it because we are approved in other areas. So for our professionals, and it's a tax write-off too. So, you know, you come in here to learn, you might as well make sure you're using it to your benefit. And
especially come in person, come down to South Florida trip, conference, have a great time, learn, educate, write everything off on your taxes.
Exactly, because it's currently 80 degrees here. So, you know, we're not dealing with the cold weather of other places. So come learn, enjoy with us. We have definitely we'll talk more about the experience as the days go on and walk you through what our plans are for in-person, because we have a lot of touch points that will be happening. So we're excited about that. I have another meeting to get to, but we wanted to go ahead and pop on and talk about the conference, because y'all know Barry has me going live every day here. So I have met my obligation today, and he'll probably pop on later and talk about another event that we're having next weekend. So watch out for that and enjoy your day, guys. And if you have any questions, let us know.
All right.